So guys, we're getting a train track today. Welcome back everyone to Create Dinosaurs, episode number 46, where that is right, we're extending the train track finally. It's no longer just gonna be the station. You know, we're gonna extend it out over this way, we're gonna have to have it go over the Spinosaurus enclosure, which is gonna be interesting. And depending on what else I am able to get done this episode, we might also work on the train track going this way. However, this way is going to be a little complicated because, of course, none of this cliff is supposed to be here. If you don't know, the eventual plan is to terraform all of this. So if we're going to have a train track which is coming off this way, then, like, I need to work out where it's going and what it's going to do, especially when we need to go and change all of this terrain. So, you know, for now, it's just kind of to be decided. But what we are definitely going to be working on today is this side of the train track, and I am not entirely sure what it's going to look like. I just don't know. Because, of course, if you've been watching the series a while, you will have caught on to the fact that a lot of this dinosaur park, it's kind of themed around Jurassic World. You know, like, we've got its building over there. The entire sort of design of this main street is a bit sort of playing off of it. And, of course, we've got a very similar Mosasaurus area over there as well. Not to mention, you know, the aviary. So I wasn't really surprised when a lot of you guys suggested that we should try and make this look a lot like the monorail from Jurassic World, but as I said last episode, there's a bit of an issue with that, and you're being a bit of an issue right here. I can't exactly make this look like the monorail track because, well, it's not a monorail. It's not even the same type of transport. So, whilst I can definitely take inspiration from it, I'm not entirely sure if I can really do an exact copy. Which means today, we're going to be doing a little bit of experimentation. And the first bit of experimentation which I want to do today is maybe not what you would expect. But basically, in the Create mod, when you're placing down train tracks, they've got this really useful feature where basically you can put that there and then you can say, right, I want to bring it over here, and it will try and work out where the track can go. And it's great because it means that you can cover really large distances and everything, and a lot of the time you only actually need to break like one bit of track in order to break all of it. Have I got one of the... I've got one of those backpack music mobs, haven't I? Where are you? I think he's literally in the rocks. Yeah, there he is. Oh my gosh, he does some damage. But yeah, so we can cover large distances with the train tracks because we're able to fill it in like this. And the nice thing about it is then if we just break one of the... No. Oh, okay, diagonally it doesn't do that. There we go. It can do stuff like that where we can break the entire thing at once. But I'm pretty sure that along with that feature, if we have something in our offhand, like let's just go with dirt because I've got a good amount of it. When we try and place down these train tracks, if they have to go over any sort of blocks anywhere, like it's got to be floating a bit, then I'm pretty sure it does do that. It takes the blocks from our offhand and puts them in place. Now, that has a whole lot of advantages. One being, like, of course, it's going to save me time, but it also means that we're going to be able to get a consistent design with this. Because, of course, if I was placing all of these blocks manually, I'd get to a point like this and I'd be like, well, do I put another block here or do I just sort of have the blocks in line here still? But if we have the Create mod doing all of that for us, then I don't need to worry about that because it's already got something that's going to do it the same way each time. So it's just going to give us a little bit more consistency with it. But the reason why I like that as well is because I'm pretty sure it can actually use slabs. And when it uses slabs, it actually also goes with nicer gradients and stuff. So you end up with smoother slopes with the terrain below the tracks. Does that make sense? That probably doesn't make sense. Basically, we can build under it with slabs, and I'm pretty sure it gives us a smoother slope. So that's going to be great for actually sort of building this train track around the park, because it means that we can just put the tracks in place, and luckily it's going to autofill all of the stuff below it for us. However, we still need to decide on what those resources are going to be, and also where the track is going to go. And that, I think, is my current problem. Because, of course, with something like a train track, stone would make sense. Stone is the most reasonable option. It's a heavy train, it's carrying a lot of passengers, and it's going through a dinosaur environment. Stone is just kind of the most logical option, but, like, it's also the most dull. I mean, no offense to my building skills, but like, look at it. It's stone walls. That building is made of stone. That building has stone inside of it. That is a stone support. Everything's made of stone, and I've got a decision to make here. Do I want this to be somewhat accurate to what it would need to be in real life? Or do I want to go with something which I think is a bit more creative and might actually look nicer? And I think I'm gonna go with that second option. An old Wild West railroad bridge. That's right, we're going back to my cowboy nature. And I'm gonna be honest, I actually threw this together in like 2 minutes just for the sake of that cut there, but like, I actually really like that design for some reason. Like, is it just me? But like, that genuinely looks kind of good behind me. I might have to go with it. Maybe with a little sort of stuff extra on the side, because we should probably have a railing just in case, you know, like the train breaks down or a passenger jumps out. Please don't do that. But that's right. I think some sort of wooden bridge inspired by like the Old West and everything like that is probably going to be what looks best in our park here. Is it the most logical? Absolutely not. As I said, it would make more sense to have a stone bridge or something, but like, I'm bored of building with stone, guys. So, Wild West Spinosaurus train, I quite like that idea. That is one hell of a title. But right, okay, so this train is going to require a whole lot of spruce wood, especially since I'm pretty sure every single block I used there was a variant of spruce. And I'm not saying that the only blocks we're going to use are spruce. I will probably use several other blocks for texturing and everything, but like, spruce is definitely going to be the main block. And luckily, it is the most farmable, so this shouldn't be too difficult. But of course, I do actually need to work out where this train is going to go and stuff. Like, it's all well and good saying, oh yeah, we can build it nice and quick, and look at how easy all of this is. But like, it has not escaped my mind the fact that I haven't actually considered where this train is going to go yet. Like, it's all well and good me saying, oh, it's going to go here through the Spinosaurus enclosure, but like, where is it gonna start? Like, entering right here? Is it sort of gonna curve around and come through that way? Where's it gonna exit? Because we've also got the fact that like, the Spinosaurus enclosure covers a really large area away from the rest of the park. And personally, I'm thinking we enter straight across here, and we just basically come across this river in a straight line. Then when we get to the land, we'll probably curve it at a 45-degree angle and bring it over this way, and then loop it around. And I am thinking stopping right here next to the aviary on this side, not this side where I initially thought I would put it. I think we're actually gonna have the train stop on this side, and then we can do this cool thing where we curve the track around the aviary in future. And of course, from there, we can just link it up to pretty much anywhere it will need to go in the park. Like, it could come back over this way, or it could go into the mesa, or we could just send it off, like, over this way even more. Because remember, guys, we're still waiting on an Ice Age district, which, like, I have no idea where that's going yet. Somewhere, I promise, eventually. Now, the one thing I will say with this is I do think it needs to come up a little bit, so I'm gonna break the track off there. And yeah, even though we're going to enter in a straight line, it really should come up, I think, like, to the height of these rails. So it means we're still gonna be cutting this top bit of the fence off a little bit, but like, I just think it's better at this height than it is lower down. Because also at this height, we're actually just replacing what I imagine to be like the spiky part of the fence or something, and like, it's not gonna be at the hand height of all of the guests. That's a really bad idea. So I just need to remove all of that out of the way, and then yeah, I think if I do that, is that gonna work? It does. I forgot to put the blocks in my offhand. And you know what? Maybe I actually should bring it up higher, because then, like, the spruce slabs can replace this instead. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's actually a significantly better idea. Hold on. So, okay, slabs go in my offhand. We'll right-click the track again, and then let's connect it up at this point like that. There we go. And was I correct? Do the slabs go in more detail? They do. Oh my gosh, they even go 1 block thick for us. That's amazing. I didn't know if they would do that. I honestly thought that the slabs would just be a top slab or something. I didn't realize it would go as a full block, but oh, that makes my job so much easier. Because if they didn't do that, I was literally going to go and do that manually. Oh, I'm so glad that that's a feature. So right, now we just need to go and build the rest of this. However, I am pretty sure the train tracks have a 32 block limit, so this might get a little bit difficult. Especially when we get to the turn. But hey, I'm gonna see what we can do. Okay, so like, this is a big project. Obviously, I've known that this is a big project since I started it. I knew it would be a big project since before I started it. But like, actually just starting this and putting in the first railway track between the first 2 stations. Not even the whole park, just the first 2 stations. One of which isn't even built. Has just shown me how much this is actually going to take. And I mean, it's fine. I've got the resources for this. There's a reason why I've decided to make it out of wood and renewable resources. Even the stone was renewable. But it is just massive. And I wonder, does it appear on the map? Oh, it actually kind of does. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know it would appear on the map like that. That's really cool, seeing the colors on both sides. But as you can see, like, this is what we have so far. Basically, it goes straight across the river, does the 45-degree turn, follows the fence on the outside here, does a little turn around here, loops around, follows the path, and eventually pulls into what is going to be the station here. And I will admit, despite the fact that I'm saying it's expensive, it actually did not take as many rails as I thought it would there. And it's only taken about 3 large spruce trees, so it's really not the worst. It is just very tedious trying to line everything up, though. And I mean, yeah, we started with, what, about 11 stacks of train tracks, and, like, we've used about half, so, yeah, it's not that bad. The biggest thing is, of course, just, like, having to line it up with the terrain and do the turns and everything like that, and make sure that everything's clear, which has actually given me an idea. I'm wondering, what if I sort of build this train track, and then we're gonna need to move the trains off the system for a bit, which I don't know how you do that. But basically, I'm thinking, like, build the train track, and once we have the entire track going around the park, I might make a train which has just got a drill on front of it. And then, of course, we just send that train around with the drill on front, and it's gonna clear all of the space that we need consistently again. That's the whole thing with this. I want consistency in the build. I don't care if it's perfect, I just want it to be the same. So if it's not perfect, the imperfections are everywhere. But anyway, so getting a little bit off topic here, since the train track is at least done all the way up to where the next station is going to go, I want to ride it. I want to see what this is going to be like. So going in F5 here, we might as well turn on F1 as well, and let's just see, like, how does this go around? I mean, the train is very fast. This is much faster than a park train needs to be. You'd normally expect it to be slower on the turn. There we go, and pulling in here, and that's where it stops. You know what? I really like that. I think that that is perfect. I like the route that that follows. It covers a nice distance across the park, and you get to go through the Spinosaurus enclosure. What is not to love there? So I think we're just gonna reverse this train all the way back to where it needs to go, and we'll just go and park it back in the station like that, and right, we're done. So now, what I want to do, I want to do all of those details. So remember on our little mock-up out here in the tunnel, of course, we've got all all of these wooden pillars coming down and the fences connecting it, I want to do something exactly like this. Honestly, probably to the same scale, because I just really like the design of that. So yeah, this is 5 block gaps between all of the pillars, which does mean we're gonna need a whole lot of logs here. This is going to be expensive. And also actually slightly different, because what I have just realized, of course, I expected it to do top slabs, but actually it's doing full slabs. So I think in order to create this same depth effect, we might actually need to mess around just a little bit. Now, I could either just like bring the fences down entirely, so move everything down, or I could maybe do a trick by putting like either a slab or a trapdoor in the middle. That might work. That design there feels a little more intricate, and I don't know if I want it looking intricate. You know what? Let's try it. However, of course, to do this, I'm gonna need a whole bunch of logs, because 1 every 5 blocks, that's a lot. Like, that is several stacks just covering this little bit alone. So, once again, let's get to work. Okay, I think I am liking that. So as you can see, I also added another detail. We've now got like trapdoors underneath. I feel like it just adds a little more framework, makes it feel a bit more, I don't know, connected and sturdy. And I think we're almost done. Just the one thing that I am thinking is maybe I should add some extra support under the water here, or at least just when it's too tall. But the thing is, I don't want to do it with something like, you know, stone. I've been trying to avoid that this whole time. I'm just wondering if maybe I can add something that would make it look like it's a bit thicker, a bit more sturdy, without it having to be stone or expanding it by a full block. Which is giving me the idea, what if I try something like dark oak fences, maybe? I feel like dark oak fences might be a good idea and stuff, just because, like, of course, I can put them around the edges. It's gonna give it a bit more shape as well. But also, it's a nice accent color, and I don't think it's too intrusive either. So yeah, just literally on all 4 sides coming down like this, as far as it can go. And yeah, just like 1 block below the water feels like it's a nice detail as well. Okay, and I believe this is the last one just here outside of the enclosure, and with that, we're done. And you know what? I really love the look of this. I will admit, I was a bit unsure. Like, even once I went, nah, I want a Western design, we're going for this. I wasn't entirely sure. I did worry a lot that it was going to be weird. But now that it's actually complete and I can see it here, no, I love it. I think it actually does contrast really well with sort of the grey of the stone and metal fences. As for what it might look like compared to other enclosures and stuff, who knows? But at the end of the day, we don't have to do the same track design around the entire park. Just because the Western style looks good here doesn't mean that it's going to look good everywhere else, but it also doesn't mean that we need to build it everywhere else. Like, you know, if a stone bridge looks better elsewhere, we can always just build a stone bridge elsewhere. But for now, we're done, and I am really happy with it. Like, we've got a nice train design, we have the location of the next station. However, next episode, I don't think we're going to be working on that. I think instead what we're going to be working on next episode is maybe getting another dinosaur. As for what that will be, you guys are just going to need to wait and see, because I don't even know what I'm going to make. So for now, thank you for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Hopefully you all like the train track just as much as I do. I really like that. I actually love how that looks just over the back of the enclosure. I think that is what it was missing. Hopefully you have all enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you in the next episode. Ooh, the decision of what could come next.